So everybody's talking about how AI can create incredible ads and marketing, but almost nobody is actually using it at scale. So today, I'm just gonna share with you exactly how I'm producing 100 to 200 pieces every single month and the exact system that I use to do it. Let's get into it. So step one, we'll call it the Gladiator Mind. And here's what I mean. Long before the internet existed, before Facebook ads or email blasts or any of it, there was a generation of copywriters who had to be perfect. Guys like David Ogilvy, Claude Hopkins, John Carlton, Gary Halbert. These are the people who worked in an era that if you wrote a bad headline, the only way that you found out was 6 weeks later when nobody mailed back a coupon. I mean, you had to pay for printing, you had to pay for postage, you had to pay for the mailing list, you had to pray that someone somewhere opened up the envelope that you mailed to them. And every single word had to earn its spot on that page because there was no test it and see what happens. You got it right or you lost money, like real money, millions of dollars. That's the kind of pressure that produces a different level of skill. And those books and those letters and these campaigns, they still exist. I mean, the principles that those people discovered are still the most battle-tested ideas in the history of persuasion. So what does the Gladiator Mind do? Look, it's just a research bot that I built specifically to go excavate the material. It goes out, it pulls the foundational works from these writers, and it starts generating hooks and headlines and angles and bullets that are all rooted in the principles that have been tested in the harshest conditions imaginable. Not recycled internet garbage from the last 5 years. I mean the real stuff, the source material. So I'm not starting from a blank page and I'm not asking AI to be creative from nothing because it's not really that good at it yet. I'm giving it a library of the best humans who ever lived at this craft and I'm asking it to apply those principles to my subject. That's the Gladiator Mind. Now, those raw materials, the hooks and the angles, the research, they feed directly into step two, and this is one we'll call the dead draft. So there's a second bot that takes everything the Gladiator Mind pulled together and writes a full rough draft. And look, the draft is technically solid, the structure's there, the logic flows, it hits all the right beats, but here's the honest truth about it, it's dead. It reads like something a very smart intern wrote after reading a lot of marketing books, but never actually sold anything to a real human being in their life. The grammar is too clean, the sentences are too even, the transition is too smooth, and it sounds exactly like what it is, a machine that processed a lot of information and tried to organize it correctly. So that matters because humans don't connect with organized correctly. They connect with real. Which brings me to the part that I think is the hardest to talk about because it's where a lot of the AI conversation goes completely off the rails. The Gladiator Mind and the dead draft together give you a technically strong piece of copy. It's fast, it's grounded in real principles. It's better than most of the stuff you would get from a mediocre writer, but there's a major problem that neither of them can solve, which brings us to part three, the humanity pass. This is where I go in. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to polish the thing. I'm not cleaning it up and making it more professional. I'm actually doing the opposite. I'm deliberately messing it up. I'm adding in slang that's current to right now. Not slang from 2019 that AI still thinks is cool. I'm breaking sentences in weird places. I'm rewriting transitions so they don't flow perfectly. Because a human, the way they communicate doesn't flow perfectly. Bad grammar, when it's intentional, it connects with people. A sentence fragment can be kind of punchy. A run-on sentence builds momentum. These aren't mistakes. That's the craft. And you can't just delegate that judgment to a bot because the bot was trained to be right. It was trained to be correct. And here's the other thing I do in this humanity pass. I check the attitude. So AI is optimistic by default, right? It wants to encourage you. And financial marketing, especially in my niche, that optimism can kind of get you into trouble fast, both with the platforms and with the audience. So real people who are making real financial decisions don't want cheerful. They want someone who's honest about the risk and gives them the reason to act. And that's like a human call. That's not a robot call, right? This is the step that takes the longest, and it should, because it's the only step that actually requires you to know what you're actually doing. And here's the thing. After the humanity pass, most people think that they're done, and they're just not. There's a fourth step that I almost didn't include in this video because it sounds so boring until you understand why it actually exists. And then it changes how you think about everything. So I'm calling this the 85% rule. So a few months back, I was getting like 5 or 6 or 7 ads out of 10 rejected. flat out. Like Facebook run them, Google wouldn't run them, and this is killing the business because like we've got weekly promotions, we've got monthly promotions. If the ads don't get out, the revenue stops. So I built a compliance bot. And it cross-references every ad against Facebook guidelines, Google policies, FTC rules, SEC regulations. And this is for my clients in the financial space, right? But it gives each ad a score from 1 to 100. Now, here's the question I had to answer. What score am I trying to hit? And the obvious answer you might say is like 100, right? Be fully compliant, never get rejected, sleep easy. But that would be wrong. A 100% compliant ad in the finance space reads like this. Results are not typical. Past performance does not guarantee future results. This is not financial advice. Consult a licensed professional before any financial decision. Nothing in this ad constitutes a solicitation. Please click my ad. Like you lose every bit of persuasive power trying to be perfect. And the compliance cops want you to be so careful you can't say anything that would actually make someone want to take action. And if nobody takes action, you're not running the business, you're just running a very long disclaimer. So I found kind of a sweet spot. I call it like 85 to 90%, right? That range is compliant enough that the ads run without getting flagged, but there's enough of a human edge in the language, enough directness, enough pull that people actually do something after seeing it. So the 85% rule is not about cutting corners, it's about understanding that influence and compliance exist in tension with each other, and your job is to find the zone where both are satisfied. Too far one way and you get rejected. Too far the other way, you're legal, but like invisible. And that's the important thing that I've learned over the last years of running the system. So let me put a number on all of this. 1 person, 4 bots, working in sequence, the Gladiator Mind, the Dead Draft, the Humanity Pass, and this 85% rule. So 100 to 200 new ads every single month. So for context, in the old world, I would have needed like 3 or 4 people to get close to that number. And I would have been miserable managing them because I hate it, right? Because I have a very specific standard for this level of work and most people can't meet it. That's just honest, right? Now, I don't manage people. I manage a process and the process runs every single day. The old school copywriting method of like sitting down at a blank document, swiping files and trying to riff off from scratch, like that's gone. And if you're still doing it that way, you're just not inefficient. You're competing against a version of yourself that could be 4 times or 5 times more productive for a fraction of the effort. The writers who are gone now, they didn't get replaced by AI. They got replaced because they never actually learned the fundamentals. They spent years running tests without studying what worked and why. So when AI showed up, it was already better than them. Not because AI is brilliant, but because they never got good to begin with. Skill still matters. It just operates differently now. So listen, if you want to run this Gladiator stack yourself, that's what we'll call it, subscribe to this channel because I'm trying to grow this thing. So what I'll do next is I'm going to walk through exactly how to build each one of these bots in some upcoming videos, like the prompts and the tools, the exact workflow that I use. And if this video hits 1,000 whole views, man, I'm really pushing it here. I'll release the full prompt stack that I use for this Gladiator, what did I call it? Gladiator Mind. The exact instructions that I feed to the research bot to pull from the masters. So anyways, check this out, subscribe, and share this with somebody, and I'll see you on the next one.